Hi, my name is Emma Louise Fazzari. My company is In-House Health, and we help digital and tech companies with their workplace health and well-being. I wanted to speak to you today about asthma. So not only have I been a nurse for 18 years, I also have a diploma in asthma. And I wanted to speak to you as it seems to be a large concern amongst the public about either themselves having asthma or a family member having asthma, and how can they keep well and minimise their risk if they either catch coronavirus or from preventing them catching coronavirus. So I'm going to give you my 7 top tips. So here we go. Tip number 1, follow hygiene advice. So it's been said since the beginning of coronavirus, COVID-19, when it first came on the scene, that hand washing was key in stopping the spread of the virus. So that still stands. Even though we're in lockdown, it's still important that you are following good hand hygiene, washing your hands for 20 seconds, at least 20 seconds with soap and water, that you are cleaning surfaces, so surfaces in your office, for example, your kitchen surfaces, handles, door handles, and things like that. So making sure that things are nice and clean, and that still making sure that when people are coughing and sneezing around you, that they are catching it in a tissue or catching it in their sleeve. Sounds pretty gross, but it's true. And then washing their hands after they have disposed of their tissue in a bin is also good. So tip number 2 is social distancing. So something that has come out over the past few weeks. So follow the government guidelines on social distancing. We are allowed out of our house, even though it is classed as a lockdown, to get exercise, and just making sure that if you are doing that, that you are keeping 2 meters apart, and that you can keep your hygiene good, as we said in step 1, as the closer you get to someone, then the more at risk you become. So tip number 3 is preventer medication. So you might already have been prescribed preventative medication from your GP in the past. You might be taking it already, and that's great. Please continue with that. If you have been prescribed it and you have it in your house but you're not currently using it, then please do start taking it as prescribed and stay on it until further notice. If you haven't been prescribed preventative inhalers or medication for your asthma before, then there's no need to worry, and just stick with your reliever inhaler, which is tip number 4. So your reliever inhaler is your blue inhaler. They come in all different shapes and sizes. Please make sure that you have that with you at all times. And if you are needing it more frequently than often, then contact your general practitioner or your practice nurse for further advice. And we say if you're using it more than 3 times a week compared to normal, then you need to be getting advice on that. So that's tip number 4. And now tip number 5, asthma action plan. Do you have an asthma action plan? Most people, in fact everyone that sees their practice nurse regularly, should have an asthma action plan. So this is more important than ever at the minute. It is a good guide for you to know that if your symptoms are getting out of control, first of all what you should do, and second of all who you should contact in the event of your asthma symptoms worsening. It is also good at the minute because we are advising that you do not go to your GP surgery. Try and avoid that place if you can. So everything will be done online or over the telephone, and your asthma action plan is a good guide for whoever does your consultation, to see that how you're feeling, how often you're using your medication, and what your symptoms are. If you don't have one, you can download one from asthma.org.uk/asthma-plan. So please download one, look at it. It's quite straightforward to fill in. You can go off your medication that you've got and what's been prescribed and your current symptoms. Okay, so tip number 6 is peak flow meters. So you might remember doing this back when you were a child, if you had childhood asthma or you got diagnosed back then. So peak flow meters are a really good indicator of how your asthma is developing. Is it normal for you? Is it stable? Or are your symptoms getting worse? Is your lung function getting worse? So again, you should be doing your peak flow regularly. And if not, it's something that you can do now before you get symptoms or before your asthma worsens, because then we know a good baseline level and whether you have deteriorated from that. It is good to tie hand in hand with your asthma action plan, and if you don't have a peak flow, you can buy one from a pharmacy, or you can order one from your practice. It's probably cheaper to buy one if you pay for your prescriptions, and make sure that when you are going out that you're following tip 1 with good hygiene and tip 2 with social distancing. So our final tip today is hay fever. So this is a time when asthma presents with a different problem for a lot of the population, and that is with the recent growth of cherry blossoms and all the nice flowers and grass that is coming about because it's sunny and it's springtime. With that, then please make sure that if you do suffer from asthma and hay fever, or if your hay fever impacts on your asthma, that you have enough medication in stock to see you through the next month. Don't stockpile. There are plenty of medications to go around and to last, so you don't need to stockpile. Make sure that you have antihistamines in stock, and if you use a nasal spray, that is in there. So I will be producing an infographic on this information, but if you have any questions or any worries or concerns, then please do get in touch. info@inhousehealth.co.uk, or you can catch me on all the socials. Have a great day and stay safe.